Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Naufal bin Yahanis. I am from RSR 2453A. Today I will present about attention and memory with my co-presenter Syed Ahmad Danial. Okay, now for introduction. Memory and attention is related to each other. A person need to give an attention in order to get the information and keep it as a memory. Okay, now we will go through a slide about memory. First of all, what is memory? Okay, memory is an ability to take an information, store it, and recall it. For example, when your friends tell you that he wanted to meet you on Sunday, first you take the information, then you store the information, and later next, when the day comes, you recall back the information. Memory is broken into 3 stages, which is encoding, storage, and retrieval, that we will discuss in the next slide. Now, we will discuss about the 3 stages in memory. First is encoding, which is the process of receiving, processing, and combining information. For example, when your friends tell you that he wanted to meet you on Sunday at 3 a.m. and when you receive the information, your brain will processing the information and combining the information together. Second is storage, which when you already encoding the information, this is the place for a permanent record to be stored. And lastly is retrieval, which is process of calling back the information that been stored in the storage in response to some cue for use in an activity. For example, when Sunday come, you remember back that your friend wanted to meet you at 3 a.m. Okay, now for this slide, there are 3 forms of memory, which are sensory memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory that we will discuss in the next slide. Okay, now the first form is sensory memory. Sensory memory is to registering a tremendous amount of information about the environment, but only for a very brief period. The purpose of sensory memory is to retain information long enough for it to be recognized. Your sensory memory creates something of a quick snapshot of the world around you. Next is short-term memory, which the memory only hold a few information at range 7 items for only 20 seconds. For example, when your mom tells you to buy more than 10 items at supermarket, and when you arrive at supermarket, you forgot the 10 items your mom told you. Lastly is long-term memory, which all the memories that we hold more than a few seconds. For example, you remember the memories when you go on vacation with your family 1 year ago, because you place it well in your storage as happy memory. Okay. In long-term memory, there are 2 types of memory, which are implicit and implicit. For explicit is divided into 2 categories, which is episodic memory and semantic memory. For episodic memory, which stores specific personal experience. For example, you remember go on vacation with your family 1 year ago. And for semantic memory, which stores factual information. For example, you remember where the place you go with your family for vacation. For implicit memory is a type of memory that been used in learning new motor skill. For example, 10 years ago, your dad teach you how to ride bicycle, and even after 10 years, you still know how to ride a bicycle. And last slide from me is the process of memory. which shown the place of your memory. The first process which you receive an information, and the few seconds known as sensory memory. Then you put an attention while receiving the information, and it will be a short-term memory. In order to put the information for long-term memory is by encoding the information that you receive. If you don't encode the information, it will remain as short-term memory.
Assalamualaikum and welcome back to our video. Okay, in my session I would like to tell to you guys about what is attention. Okay, attention is the behavioral and cognitive process of selectively concentrating on a discrete aspect of information. Attention in psychology is the concentration of awareness of some phenomenon to the exclusion of other stimuli. Okay, we proceed to the next slide, which is type of attention. They have 9 type of attention, which is internal attention, external attention, open attention, hidden attention, selective attention, divided attention, sustained attention, visual attention, and auditory attention. Okay, what is internal attention? Okay, internal attention is the ability to use attention resource for our own mental process. And for the external attention, it will gain from external stimuli and stimuli coming from the surrounding. They come from out of our body. And for the open attention is accompanies motor response that support and facilitate the act of paying attention. And for the hidden attention is allow you to pay attention to the stimuli without appearing to do so. And for the selective attention, this ability is to collect and focus attention on a single stimuli only. For the divided attention, this ability to focus attention on 2 or more tasks at the same time. And for the sustained attention, which is ability to maintain attention resource and respond correctly. For the visual attention, ability to pay attention to stimuli that are in our field of vision. For the auditory attention, ability to pay attention to stimuli sensed by the ears. Okay, what are determining factor of attention? Okay, they have 2 factor that determine attention, which is internal factor and external factor. Okay, for the internal factor, it comes from surrounding and make concentration on relevant stimuli easier to or more difficult. And for the external factor, it comes from the individual and therefore depend on each person. For the for the external factor, they come from our own mentality. Okay, we proceed to the next slide, which is the internal factor. Okay, for the internal factor, they have interest, emotion, effort required by the task, organic state, and the last one is trains of thought. Okay, for the interest, we concentrate more on stimuli that interest us. For example, Ali have the hobby which is playing football, and he will more concentrate on the football compared to the netball. Okay, for the emotion, stimuli that provoke strong emotion attract more attention. However, it must be kept in mind that positive mood contribute to focusing attention resource, but negative mood make concentration more difficult. Okay, For the effort required by the task, people make a prior evaluation of the effort required to do a task, and depending on this, it will attract more or less attention. Okay, for the organic state, depend on the physical state that the person is in. So state of tiredness, discomfort, fever will make mobilizing attention more difficult. For example, when we thirst or hungry, it will make our attention less to focus on what the people talk to you. And for the last one is train of thought. When thought follow a determined course based on concentrate idea, the appearance of stimuli related to this will capture more of our attention. Okay, we proceed to the next slide, which is external factor. For the external factor, they have intensity, size, movement, novelty, change, color, contraction, and emotional burn. Okay, for the intensity, the more intense of the stimuli, the more likely you are to give attention resource to it. Okay, for the example, the more the best topic that you hear, you will pay more attention what they are talk about. And for the size, the bigger a stimuli is, the more attention resource it capture. Okay, for the movement, moving stimuli capture more attention than one that remains static. Okay, and for the novelty, strange stimuli attract more of your attention. And change, it a different stimuli appears that break of dynamic, our attention will be directed to the new stimuli. And for the color, colorful stimuli are more attention grabbing than black and white one. For the contrast, stimuli that contrast again a group attract more of our attention. And for the last one, which is emotional burn, positive just much as negative stimuli attract our attention more than neutral ones. Okay, what diseases are related to attention? Okay, for the first one, which is aprosia, which is maximum reduction of attention ability to absence of attention. And next one is hypoprosia, which is decrease in attention ability. And next one is pseudoprosia, the lack of attention towards surrounding despite maintaining the ability of a good condition. Which is paraprosia, which is abnormal direction of attention. And for the last one is hypoprosia, which is exercise and temporary focus of attention. And that's all from us. Thank you.